What's going on, everybody? Cancerian Healer, what's good, baby? Nubian Queen, King Shah 03, Sissy, Letitia, Aja, Jersey Peace 28, 1216 Cash Now. What happened, Cash Now? We changed up. I thought it was 1-800. You changed up your line on motherfuckers, Taurus season. Cha-cha. Cha-chi. Lena Salt. All right, yeah, I just want to get into current energies. All right, I want to talk about Pluto retrograde through the houses real quick. And, yeah, let's get right into it. All right, y'all. So this week started with us. This was a post-full moon week. So whenever we have a full moon over the weekend or to start the week, that week motherfuckers is going to be in their feels about shit the whole week, depending if you got a chance to release or detach from what is it that you were supposed to release or detach from. If you ain't really feel like you got some of that energy off your, your shoulders during a full moon, or you ain't make certain spiritual adjustments needed, this week may have been, some bit of power struggles there, a bit of emotional ups and downs there for LMB. Goddess God, Nubian Queen, very emotional week. Yeah, we're going to get into it. So, Cancerian Healer said the shadow work been intense. Facts. So like I told you, when we talk about you and full moons, them energies linger. You pick up on that frequency vibration a couple of moon transits before, and it's gonna linger throughout the the next couple of moon transits after. So when we look at us starting the week with a full moon in Scorpio, coming in contact with all these demons and devils within you, all these things you done buried, all these traumas, all these deep intense feelings you may have for other people, for other situations in your life, other intense emotions you may be carrying from past relationships, past transformative experiences in your life. Doesn't even have to be relationships. A lot of people during this full moon in Scorpio, depending on where you have Scorpio at and your energies, a lot of us were sinking into previous things that we did with our previous passions and personal goals that we had failures, aka lessons, but shortcomings with, and we developed insecurities of. So that's something you may have been sinking into heavy during that full moon in Scorpio. Okay, so as we dealt with all that shit during the week, all right, True Meeks, I just want to give out some shout outs as I keep going. Eternal Kismet, Them G Creative, Narzi, Juliet's Kitchen. Y'all chap into Julietta's kitchen, because she be shaking and baking in that kitchen. Samani, y'all think I don't be peeping. She is DT. All right. So when we look at us coming off all these energies off that full moon in Scorpio, it's like, the moon moved into motherfucking Sagittarius this week. We was dealing with a moon in Sagittarius transit this week before we got into the Capricorn moon transit. So the full moon in Scorpio is helping us to adjust the emotional, for how we're dealing with our emotional well-being, on top of any burdens that we're dealing with our emotional well-being, to help us get that on point with all the Taurus energy, what we're working on, what we're structuring, our new self-esteem. All right. You either in two energies, you hardly working or you working hard. It's really no gray area with the energies we in right now. Either you hardly work or your ass working hard. All right, it's one or the other. So you can feel responsibilities and priorities be heavy on you right now if you're not on top of tasks, priorities, responsibilities, time management, whatnot. But I just DM me for my life, so there you are. Look, boom. You feel me? So when we look at all them energies, when the moon got into Sagittarius, everybody want to get free-spirited when the moon get into Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy ain't got shit to do with no goddamn responsibility. Sagittarius energy ain't got shit to do with no goddamn structure and time, and no. That's experience energy. adventurous energy, social energy, expansive energy. So Sagittarius, mutable fire ruled by Jupiter, when the moon is transiting there, we react to things in a more free-spirited, expressive way. We're tapping more into our creativity as well. Fire is dealing with creativity no matter how you want to shape it. But when we look at that Jupiter fire, that Sagittarius fire, you know, that fire don't really do well with restrictions. That fire don't really do well with organization. Like, fire don't do well with reality, period. Heavy fire energy don't do well with reality, period. All right? So my fire signs, I got to learn to be a little stable internally though, all right? Learn to do what you got to do to feel like you're being more in the present, making your creativity and your, you know, very strong, intuitive, futuristic outlooks on things be able to work for you in the present instead of them just running you, instead of your vision just running you, instead of you feeling like you're always you're always ahead of yourself, ahead of situations, all right, fire signs? But when we look at that moon transit in Sagittarius, it's giving us more of a philosophical, bigger, broader outlook on the energies with the sun. So with us paying attention to everything we paying attention to in Taurus this week, we started developing all different type of perspectives to look at what we're looking at, more meanings and reasonings, why we value this person. All right, I know I value this motherfucker. I know I value this relationship, but like, what this relationship supposed to be teaching me? All right, am I learning what I'm supposed to be learning? Am I expanding and growing in this relationship? Motherfuckers was asking themselves that about their relationships this week and shit. All right, because Jupiter gonna bring the philosophical touch into everything. Jupiter gonna make you look at things from what you can learn from a person, place, or thing. So that's the little minor friction with that Taurus energy and Sagittarius energy. Taurus energy is more, you know, stable, patient, grounded, calculated, organized. It's earth, especially when it comes around this value system, or a person, place, or thing it loves, or when it's dealing with a relationship. That's when you're going to see a Taurus get the most calculated. But that Sagittarius moon just had us reacting and responding to things that may have played out as restrictions. And I was just breaking down my Patreon early. I was just telling everybody, like, you know, this was an easy week for us to get to feel like we need to detach from responsibilities a little bit. All these heavy energies in Taurus got everybody having to deal with a more realistic outlook on life right now. And you have to learn how to use what you have in a realistic way right now, okay? So, and you're realizing where your support is coming from right now and how you can support your goddamn self with all these Venus in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, Sun in Taurus. So yeah, that's the friction between the Taurus and Sagittarius energy. So Sagittarius can entertain more spontaneous, jump into the moment, jump into the experience type of circumstances in their life. They could feel like they could learn like that. They could feel like restrictions or dealing with too much routine can restrict the ability to expand their horizons, all right? Expand their awareness about things. But sometimes when Sagittarius come in contact with that Taurus energy, it needs to learn to make sense of his knowledge and wisdom in a more realistic, present way, to see what it's learning. How does that build any type of foundation? So this was like the energy we was dealing with this week. So that's why it may have been real easy to, you know, kind of dodge responsibilities, neglect responsibilities, not utilize time management the best this week, all right? And also probably have a little bit of outbursts here and there about things that may have been playing out as a burden on us. And it may have just been from things that we were supposed to detach and release from when it comes to full moon in Scorpio, which I broke down what all them things could be. People, places, and things, concepts, ideas, emotions that you may have about certain things that's actually playing out as a blockage. We could have had played out outbursts this week with a moon in Sagittarius. Moon in fire, you're going to react to how you feel. When the moon transit a fire sign, you're going to react to how you want to express some shit. So hopefully we didn't do that to the point where it played out as a detriment. It played out as a situation we burnt the bridge or whatnot, all right? But now, today, the moon moved into Capricorn. I believe the moon is like 4 or 5 degrees into Capricorn, all right? And when the moon is in Capricorn, this gives us an influence of responding to more responsibilities in this motherfucker, more earth, more structure, more things that need time, all right? More patience. So we could have just dealt with a week that drove us away from responsibilities a little bit, even though it gave us different perspectives on how to look at our responsibilities, how to look at people, places, and things that we value, that we connected to. All right, our current career situation, our current relationship we in, our surroundings, all this Taurus energy we've been breaking down. That Sagittarius transit helped us to look at it from different perspectives. All right, from a bigger, broader perspective, about viewpoint on something. Now with the moon in Capricorn, we got the sun and moon in Capricorn, the sun and moon in Earth. So this is already a harmonious situation with the sun and the moon, okay? We got our reactions. The moon is in a situation in Capricorn where it's trying to deal with its responsibilities. It's trying to see what it needs to place restrictions, limitations on. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is dealing with limitations, boundaries, structure, putting time into things. So, but the moon is uncomfortable there. The moon don't want to be doing all that shit. The moon don't want to be doing construction work, signing business deals, of seeing who we got to cut off to so it can have more time for responsibilities. The moon, this is why the moon's debilitating Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn moon, okay? So the whole world could just feel a little uncomfortable being forced to have to react to be forced to react to things that are more priority right now, especially within the career area, like especially when it comes to, you got any online brands, you dealing with any form of social media, the internet, whatnot. The moon in Capricorn is going to influence you to get on your job, deal with your branding, how you broadcasting yourself. But we've been working with that earth element all this time with the sun and them heavy Taurus energies. You feel me? So the energies we dealing with for this weekend, heavy earth. Sun in Taurus, moon in Capricorn. It's time to see new ways on how to deal with what you already working on. It's gonna flow. These energies are gonna create circumstances that can possibly play out as opportunities in our life this weekend. When we have the sun and moon in the same element, all right, that energy is something we all have access to, all right, and we could all have access to in a positive or negative way. So right now we could sink all into this heavy earth energy and be really stagnant just in the head about things, but not putting things into certain action, moving things around, organizing shit, seeing what we have to restrict, seeing what we got to cut off. That's the energy that you want to be in a more positive way to make this heavy earth energy work for you this weekend. So you could start catching the feelings and thoughts that you need to catch for you, for your career, for your brand, for your business, for forms of security, for forms of stability. All right. It's a trine. Whenever we dealing with trines is when we have, planets 120 degrees away from each other. So these energies is getting aligned with each other harmoniously. All right. So, yeah, what could have been a bit of a chaotic, not so on top of your time management like week, great weekend to get this shit back in order. Great weekend to get priorities back situated. Great weekend to see where your time needs to be divided more wisely and more realistically over this weekend, period. And if you experience anything dealing with restrictions, blockages this weekend, that should be a sign of something that is probably a detriment to what you should be valuing. It's probably a detriment to the things that, this Taurus season has been trying to influence you to see and bring out of yourself into the world. Once again, that Venus and Taurus energy is Taurus season, period. But the fact that we got the ruler there, if you have this type of placement in your chart, if you have a ruler in a place that it rules, so if you have the sun in Leo, if you have the moon in Cancer, if you have Mercury in Virgo or Gemini, if you have Mars in Scorpio or Aries, if you have Venus in Libra or Taurus, all right, if you have Jupiter in Pisces or Sagittarius, if you have any of them placements, you're going to feel comfortable to a degree and have some percentage of wisdom that you brought into this lifetime dealing with that energy. So in some type of shape or form right now, the whole world with all this heavy Taurus energy, but also having the ruler Venus in Taurus, we're being forced to be comfortable with the things that we feel like we offer to the world, whether it's our form of creativity, a talent, a business that we working on, what we feel like we bring to a relationship. People that are in their relationships right now are realizing that shit been in balance, that they've been bringing way more. All right. So people noticing that shit during Venus season. I mean, we could call this shit Venus season for real. We really could call this shit, but I meant Taurus season. We seeing all of this shit right now. Okay. But especially when it comes to you personally. All right. Now, another thing about motherfucking moon transit in Capricorn is opposite Mars in Cancer. All right, we're gonna feel it the most. You was feeling it the most pretty much with it because the moon the moon is like 4 or 5 degrees, so it ain't get into Capricorn until earlier today. What time is it? It's like 9. Yeah, so the moon got into Capricorn like around 3 today, 3. And You know, we got Mars early degrees Cancer. So feeling it tonight and early tomorrow, you're going to feel the influence to react and respond to things that you truly do care about. All right. We know Cancer, we're dealing with that care word. But when we talk about Mars, all right, Mars is our passions. Mars is the things, our integrity. All right. Where we go oriented at. So depending on where Cancer is at in your chart, tonight and early tomorrow, be let's say you have Cancer in the 11th house. The 11th house deals with how you connect to the public environment, how you network, how you deal with associates, how you relate to others. Is the air house dealing with relationships? So if you got Cancer there, and that's where Mars is transiting right now in your 11th house, right now, wherever you got Capricorn at, wherever your house Capricorn is at, you being influenced to react and respond to how you building in that house, how you structuring, how you organizing in that house right now. But since it's opposite Mars, wherever house that Cancer is in, there's things in that house that you already being influenced to be goal-oriented around, that you already done set some intentions in. So you already got some intentions or inspiration or motivation to want to network, deal with some form of social media right now, some form of communication, relationships, where there's somebody else you see got a resource or a similar creative interest, and you want to network and build with them, or you seeing how you can connect yourself to the public environment. Right now, you got to learn to react to that with way more reality right now. Okay, see, Mars and Cancer got a lot of us real passionate and riled up for a lot of shit. Mars and Cancer got us real riled up and inspired and passionate for a lot of things that we care about, for a lot of things that we want to, when it comes to wherever you got Cancer at you in your chart, you already emotionally connected to that house. Y'all got to understand, it don't matter if y'all don't got planets in certain houses. Like, there's going to be some empty houses in your chart. Especially if you got a lot of stellies, you're going to have mad empty houses, all right? I got mad empty houses. I only got 3 houses with planets. So it don't matter, because guess what? Them houses have signs in them houses. So the signs bring energy there too. The signs bring energy. You got to understand that. Just like how we all know that our rising ascendant sign is important, because that deals with our personality. It deals with the energy people personally perceive us. Some like to say that energy deals with our actual facial features, all right, and physical presentation. I like to believe so, but to certain degree levels to it, all right. So I ain't gonna, like, I'm a Capricorn rising. Capricorn risings, I think we got some big ass fucking foreheads. Like, everybody think they got big foreheads, but Capricorn risings got some big foreheads. So if you're a Capricorn rising, like, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, it is what it is, my nigga. You feel me? Your big forehead having ass. But overall, the rising sign is important, because that's, once again, our personality, our personal outlook in life. It also shows us our personal life path, all right, with the relationship between the 1st house to the 4th house, relationship, which is a square, 1st house to the 7th house, which is opposite, 1st house to the 10th house, which is a square, all right? So everybody don't got planets in their 1st house. Everybody don't got planets in their 1st house, but that rising sign is still important as shit. And all your rising sign is the sign influencing your 1st house. So once again, y'all, I know a lot of y'all be like, but I don't got planets in this house, Boro, or this and the third. Yeah, you got a sign in that house, and the signs you have in that house is influencing some shit. So wherever Cancer is at, you already emotionally connected to that house. You need to see what house that is, and you'll start seeing for your damn self. All right? I know the moon deal with the emotions, but when you got the houses that you got water signs in, you develop attachments. You develop connections there. Water deal with vibration, so it's going to be something you connected to in that house. All right? Or you're trying to connect to, or you're trying to understand. All right? I like to say water deals with understanding too, especially with the moon. All right? So when we look at that house that you have Cancer in, there's going to be some things you may be forced to react to in that house, and you can't just feel heavy on it. Mars and Cancer got people feeling heavy, but we need to be able to take realistic action on what we're doing, and that's not the easiest thing to do with Mars and Cancer. Sometimes the more comfortable thing to do with Mars and Cancer is just express how the fuck you feel without caring about how it affects others. Sometimes that feel like the better thing to do. All right? Mars and Cancer Mars and Cancer people could hold their friends to high regard. People that's in their close circle, they could hold them up to really high regard and feel hurt when them people, Cancers too, but Mars and Cancers, they really don't know how to deal with that shit that well. When somebody close knitted, family, somebody they emotionally connected to, there's some unloyal shit or some, untrustworthy shit, that shit motherfucker hurt of Mars and Cancer, and you better hope they don't flip on you. You feel me? You better hope they know how to got some type of control of their emotions, because that shit ain't easy to control with Mars and Cancer. But this is the influence we all are dealing with right now. So that's why I say, especially with the moon transit in Sagittarius this week, this is easy to have all type of outbursts this week. You feel me? Post full moon week. All right? Still shedding some emotions, still shedding some energies. All right? Now, so yeah, we got the moon opposite Mars. We learn to react. We learn to get our emotions correlated with what is it that we passionate about, but in a realistic way, because it's Capricorn. So seeing what strategy, all right, what's the most realistic way to have this conversation with this person that we really care about right now? What's the most realistic way to deal with this situation in the home right now that's a little turbulent? What's the most realistic way for to communicate how I truly feel to the collective or to this person, or blah, blah, blah. Mars and Cancer, that's that opposite axis there. Capricorn, all business, all structure, all about building, all about growth in the physical plane, all about mastering, building in the physical plane. And then we got Cancer, which is about mastering emotional intelligence, mastering how you deal with the subconscious, all right? Evolving your perspective about how people deal with the emotions differently and what affects your emotions. So we got to learn to make them two things shake right now over this weekend, all right? So don't allow whenever Mars make contact with the moon, y'all, especially in the opposite, whenever Mars make that contact with the moon, we know Mars bring an intensity, a certain form of intensity to wherever it's at. So the moon about nurture and understanding. So don't let people get up under your skin right now. Don't let people speed you up. And don't let people push you into any heavy, expressive energy in an extreme. Try to see how you could be balanced and, diligent communicating with others, but not want to push out anything in the extreme right now with the moon opposite Mars. Now let's talk about Pluto retrograde, all right, y'all? I want to keep y'all up all night. Y'all know the lucky Libra can chat. Y'all know I can chat. But when we look at Pluto going retrograde, y'all, the first retrograde of the year, okay? Now, first of all, what is Pluto? We got Pluto stationed in Capricorn, and it's going to be retrograde. It went retrograde on the 27th, and it's going to be back direct on the 6th, all right, of October. I said that shit like it was next month, like the 6th of May. No, that shit going to be direct the 6th of October, when we're in the fall, start of the fall season. So, when we look at Pluto represents transformation. Pluto represents rebirths, deaths. So those two things is one and the same. Rebirth, death, that's all transformation. That's all that is. If something dies in this motherfucker, that shit about to come alive somewhere else. Better believe that shit, all right? Better believe that. But when we look at Pluto dealing with the energy of rebirths, transformation, power and control issues, power struggles, it's important to understand that about Pluto. All right, it's important to understand wherever you have Pluto at in your chart, whatever house that energy is in, you go through power and control issues there. Go through some power struggles there. There's a lot of things you be real passionate about, and things that you feel like you can accomplish and achieve, and you have a locked in, dialed in intention in that area, which is more so than with long-term intentions. But these are some things that you are transform you on the journey to accomplishing them things. All right. Pluto deal with expiration dates. So whatever house you got Pluto in, there's shit in that house that you always need to make sure you're putting on the expiration date. Things can't just linger wherever Pluto is at. All right. We're always going to run into situations during a full moon. We feel like mad shit is spiritually on our shoulders. We got to release and detach. We're always going to get into energies during a new moon where we feel like we need to, embark on new things, new journeys. And we have all different type of energies that influence transformation. But when we talk about the house you have Pluto in, You have to nip shit in the bud in that house when it's time to nip shit in the bud. You have to know how to transform shit in that house first. So you got Pluto in your person in the first house. You got a lot of people have Pluto in the first house, Scorpio risings right now. But you know, Pluto in the first house, you're gonna go through a lot of personal transformations, but you go through so much personal transformations to the point that whatever passions, desires you may have in that house, you got to understand how to evolve from them things yourself and not let Pluto transform it for you. All right. Whenever Pluto got to barge in our lives and transform things because we don't know how to, those be some of the most chaotic, crisis-like moments in our motherfucking life. All right. And I'm going to keep bringing this up as long as Pluto's in Capricorn. But as right before, as when all this coronavirus shit started, I don't even like saying that word in my live streams because it's like, you just say that shit and they start picking up on all type of shit. They start, I end the live stream, they be like, you mentioned boom, boom, boom. Do you want to get vaccinated? Like, them niggas be quick to just, the era we live in, the world we live in today, man. But, yo, Z-Life, what's poppin', my geyser? But yeah, so Pluto in the first house, you got to make sure when it comes to things that you've been transforming in your personal life, you take that shit as, oh shit, I can't stay complacent with certain things in my personal life. I always do got to evolve and transform, or I'm going to run into some transformative ass situations, period. All right. So, you know, Pluto in the sixth house, it may be some things in your schedule. It may be some things you're going to have a transformative schedule and form and ways of putting things in order and working on things. Pluto in the sixth house, you may work at a lot of jobs. Pluto in the sixth house may get taken advantage of at, or be in situations being in the dark, dealing with hidden agendas, or being manipulated within the workplace a lot. And you go through those type of transformations. So now you're taught to transform your schedule, to own your shit. All right, to gain power when it comes to how you want to regulate your schedule in this lifetime. All right, so. And if you got Pluto retrograde in your chart, all right, so this is what Pluto, so that's going to just correlate with what I'm teaching. So with Pluto, that's the energy Pluto deals with. Transformation, rebirth, depths, evolution, all right, long-term passions, heavy desire. So wherever your Pluto at, you desire in that area, like, so that's why you're willing to go through transformation. So you got to know where your Mars and Pluto at, because those them desire energies. You got to know where your Scorpio and Aries energies is at too. Like them energies is all the same. Stella, what's poppin', Stella? Right. I already know what that means. So if Pluto's retrograde energy deals with revision. It's dealing with replaying, revising. Okay? So when a planet goes retrograde, expect situations from the past to occur just by default, because it's already in a revision, replay type of energy, in a revisit type of energy. So just by default, you can expect, and this goes for any planet that's retrograde. This is something I'm noticing. It don't matter if it's a Mercury retrograde, Uranus retrograde, the Mars retrograde. It don't matter. The house that planet is retrograde, you gonna see some shit from the past pop the fuck up. It don't matter. You gonna see some shit. You gonna feel and think about some shit from the past in that area. And and whatever comes up from the past in them areas, where you got retrograde planets transiting, like Pluto right now, or where you have Pluto retrograde periods in your natal chart, all them past situations that pop up in that place, they pop up in your head and on your heart for a reason, because these are some shits that, this is an influence, like, yeah. You better keep thinking and feeling about this right now, because it's time to transform this shit, because my hot and heated ass about to come transform this shit, aka Pluto. All right? So, like I said, I don't want to keep you out here all night, but I do want to go through Pluto, through all these houses right now for you guys to understand how it's going to be affecting you out to October 6th. So when we're talking about motherfucking Pluto going retrograde, you know, Pluto been in Capricorn since motherfucking, 2010? I might be off for a couple of years before or ahead. So either 2010, so it might be 2008, or it might be 2012. Somewhere around that range, 2010, I believe, Pluto been in Capricorn. All right, Pluto could stay in the sign from anywhere from motherfucking It could stay in the sign for like goddamn 20, 30 years for real. So when we look at it, what we've been experiencing, what Pluto's going to bring to a sign in the past decade or whatnot, you know, government, forms of structure, forms of how we broadcast to ourselves to the world. All right, land, government, society, them things have been going through transformations like they always are. But it wasn't until a couple of years when we had that huge stellium, Mars, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and they was all stationed around Pluto in Capricorn. That's when all this bullshit started. That's when all this wear your mask bullshit started at. All right, but I'm not even going to go too deep into that. So now that Pluto's retrograde, you feel me? When we look at these past couple of years, the area you have Capricorn in your chart, this is where Pluto has been transiting. So if you got intercepted houses, you got Pluto in you got Capricorn in 2 houses. Yeah, Pluto been transiting these 2 houses. But for the most part, the house you have Capricorn in, this is where you've been experiencing a lot of transformation, but specifically learning how to bring more of a stable transformation into your life. You've been doing a lot of construction. By default, the house that you have Capricorn in, you're doing a bunch of construction in that house. So just look at that area of life in the past 2 years. I'm a Capricorn rising. So I remember when these planets specifically were transiting my first house. I moved at this time. I was going through a lot of personal transformation at this time. And I knew them shits was coming beforehand. So when situations start getting a little hot, I'm like, okay, all right, universe, it's my time to go. I'm gonna move first before Pluto move my black ass. All right? You gotta learn how to move. You gotta learn how to catch these motherfucking influences and move with that shit. That's why the more detached you are, the more you don't allow yourself to connect to shit that ain't for you, the more you pick up these influences like nothing. That's all spirituality is. The relationship between your own goddamn intuition, being able to listen to spirit, being able to understand, you catch an influence, you see something and know not to overthink that. That's a sign. You caught that for a reason. If the fact that you asking is a sign lets you know it's a sign. If you got to ask if something's a sign, it's a goddamn sign. All right? So, the area of life you have Capricorn in, you're already doing a lot of construction in that house. It's going to bring Saturn here. So, you're forced to build shit here, tear down things when it's reasonable here, to restrict things here. You know, this house is going to have a career influence in some type of shape or form. May influence how you build structure and stability in some type of shape or form with this house that you have Capricorn in. So what I want everybody to understand is these past couple of years, when you look at all the transformation Pluto's been going through in that house, all the things you may have to fight for in that house with Pluto and Capricorn, all the things that you may have going through transformation, all the power and control struggles you've been going through in that area of life with Capricorn in. This retrograde energy is about to jump you into so many different past circumstances for you to evaluate why you got transformed in this area like past couple of years, and how you can take power and capitalize based off these experiences to bring transformation into your life where Capricorn is at. All right? That is Pluto retrograde in a nutshell. There's going to be a lot of situations when it comes to things that transformed you and understanding why that had to happen. Understanding why that was a part of your growth, your evolution, and understanding why this has to be something you need to keep in mind to continue to keep in transformation. All right. Now, Pluto goes direct October 6th. So when we get into fall season, as soon as Pluto go direct, you're going to see the shift in that time leaning on to the rest of the month. The rest of this year, this calendar year, 2021. As soon as fall season hit and Pluto go direct, you're going to feel the shift of everything that you had a chance to revise and reflect on internally about how you can help yourself to bring personal transformation to your life, especially in career in the area like you got Capricorn in. You're gonna feel all that clarity jump up into the air as opportunities to actually dive into that shit and transform things for yourself. So right now we just doing homework while this shit is retrograde. I like to say retrograde is homework time. Like, that's basically what it is. So when that planet goes retrograde, it's up to you to do your due diligence to see how you've been dealing with that energy, experiencing with it. You got to jump out your body a little bit and have a spiritual conversation with that energy to see what you're supposed to be learning from that energy, how you could be utilizing that energy better. All right. So a lot of you guys, Pluto went retrograde on the 27th. So Pluto went retrograde on the 27th. It's the 30th. So you guys already picked up on the energy for the past couple of days. AKA, as soon as y'all, this is everything. All of this is about to be Pluto retrograde shit. Looking at situations right now that's a burden for you in career and understanding you could have been started something. That is heavy, something you need to really revisit and make sure you pay attention to and place some time into that. Pluto in retrograde will bring up them type of energies. It will have you looking at your form of security and stability, Earth, and understanding how you allowed yourself to fall into certain circumstances of reality when you didn't even fight for it. Like, a lot of us are going to be picking up on things we didn't even fight for that we may not be uncomfortable with when it comes to forming stability. So that's another thing. And having to be able to, come face to face with that and understand what's needed for you to bring transformation to yourself. But from now all the way to October 6th, from spring season throughout summer season to the start of the fall, expect a lot of replay energy in this house you have Capricorn in. So let's just get right into it, all right? I want to make sure, I don't want to stay no later than 10 o'clock. First house, Capricorn in the first house. So on my Capricorn risings, you guys naturally influenced by Saturn in that first house. So when it comes to your personality, you a little personally reserved. You a little personally shut off from others. You be in your own cave doing your own thing because you're trying to personally build some structure, build something in this lifetime. You're trying to learn what to place time into personally. And you experience a lot of restrictions in your personal life with Saturn there. So you may not even, like, I'm a Libra sun. I got a Libra stellium. So even though I'm a Cap rising, I'm personally to my goddamn self. I'm personally not that open, but I'm a Libra sun. So that gives me more air. It makes my Capricorn get out some more. It attracts situations where I end up knowing a lot of people having so much energies in the air. I end up actually being in situations where relationships and the people I know actually make me feel uncomfortable. That's me being a Capricorn moon too. So different energies is going to affect different things. But you being a Capricorn rising, that's your personality though. You personally reserved. You may not be there. You may feel like a lot of things you want to personally experience in your life get restricted. And you have to learn to fight and work for these things. So with Pluto going retrograde in this first house, this is about to be a lot of things in your personal life that from now until October 6th, you got a chance to give depth to. A lot of personal habits and desires that you have. Because this is a lot of personal desires and habits that you have that is blocking things that you want to personally evolve into. You want to everything in your personal life, personal people, places, and things. Pluto going retrograde here. A lot of replay energy of these things that you didn't transform. You let linger a little bit. Maybe something you didn't end with somebody in your personal life and let it be established that this relationship needs to, you feel me, go this direction or this and that. You just let it linger a little bit. Nah, them shit is about to come back to play in your personal life. And you got to take the personal initiative to make sure, things stay cemented in your personal life as far as what needs to be transformed. Pluto going retrograde here. You're already doing a lot of construction work in your personal life as a Capricorn rising. So Pluto going retrograde here is going to be a lot of situations where you about to see yourself personally. And you're going to think about a lot of circumstances for previous situations that involved you personally building things. Whatever personal endeavors you had career-wise, whatever personal endeavors you had, or your personal outlook on things that you feel like you need more time in your life, you're about to see all the ways or replay a lot of situations where you didn't invest that time into that. And you're going to be trying to strategize and see if it's still time for you to be able to, start to cater, start to build on something in a more strategical way. Us taking the initiative to transform things before Pluto goes direct, when the planet goes direct, is either going to be a bunch of opportunities to see these things transform, or it's going to be a bunch of energy showing us that we didn't do no homework when it came to what we need to put depth to, what we need to have a transformation with, what we need to adjust when it comes to our long-term issues, all right? Long-term intentions. So Capricorn rises. A lot of personal transformation here. This is not a time for you guys to look at things in your personal life like from a lackadaisical point of view when you know there's something you need to change. You got something going on in your personal schedule that shouldn't be in your personal schedule, and is distracting personal priorities, responsibilities. Pluto retrograde here is going to make that shit loud, and it's going to show you like this actually has been something that's been a personal burden for the past couple of years, but we really need to transform it now. I like to say, before I even continue the rest of the houses, this energy is gonna affect late degree Libras, late degree Cancers, late degree Aries. So if you got any planets, suns, or moons in the late degrees of them energies, if you got sun, moon anywhere from like 26 to 29 degrees, Libra, Aries, Cancer, you may feel this gravitational pull the most because it's going to be squaring you guys. So that's what we're looking at, Capricorn rising, personal transformations. It's going to be a lot of situations of things that you should have transformed a couple of years ago and you didn't. And now you're seeing situations that's going to help you to look at what circumstances you could be in if you don't transform now. Because you started realizing like, damn, I could have started that business 2 years ago. Well, fuck it. I started that shit earlier this year. So what is it do I need to make sure I personally make an adjustment for now so I could bring this transformation and not be looking back having this salty feeling about something I could have personally started putting time into, Capricorn risings. All right. I got a video on YouTube breaking down degrees. So that's what we're dealing with, Capricorn risings. A lot of people in your personal life coming back to establish themselves. You have to make sure you're seeing the reality of the situation. Making sure that you're not just jumping into anything based off of past desire with somebody personally. You may even be contacted by somebody in your personal life being with them expressing how much you transformed them as well. So you got to be able to see, Pluto rules the underworld. Pluto's home in the 8th house, deals with Scorpio energies, deal with Aries energies. It's dealing with the underworld, self-intent. A lot of things with your self-intentions may be acknowledged by others that you were connected to within this area, like you have Pluto into, just by default. But yeah, Capricorn risings, a lot of things dealing with, maybe you had negative personal intentions with somebody else in the past. This can come back to play as well with Pluto going retrograde in your first house, and you having to nip that situation in the bud, make sure that shit don't linger. And that could play out as minor situations, but some people be having circumstances in their life that is playing out as a major burden with somebody. So this may be the time to deal with that situation. But the more that you focus on what needs to be transformed in your personal life, Capricorn rising, the more when you look at how much time you've been placing into personal responsibilities and priorities and how you personally structuring things, the more you put more time into what needs to be transformed as to what you're putting restrictions on, limitations on in your personal life, the more fruits will grow during this season, during this period, this transit. The more fruits will be obtainable when we get into fall season, because you've been putting the work on seeing what you need to personally transform about yourself. The way you personally, the things you want to jump into in your personal life that you're not allowing yourself to, you're going to fight for these situations to come into existence. But overall, when it comes to your personal forms of expression and things that's going on in your personal life and how you carry yourself personally, you have to be real conscious of all desires, all habits that are negative, and these things you have to be able to find ways to gradually evolve or start to work towards evolving these things in your personal life. Capricorn in the 2nd house. All right, with Capricorn in the 2nd house, you're already influenced to take your time and build and structure when it comes to what you feel like you have, whether it's a creative attribute. The 2nd house deal with people, places, and things that you value, your self-esteem, your creative attributes, your talents, physical stability, physical security, monetary gains. The house lord for this house is where the money be at, but that's y'all gonna have to y'all gotta get the y'all gotta get the career consultation for all that juice. But when we look at the 2nd house, Capricorn in the second house is ruled by Saturn. So you're going to be serious about your business. You're going to be serious about this, having this talent. You're going to be serious about this relationship that you value. If you fall into that second house, everything get mad serious here. So it's positive because Capricorn already Earth. This is an Earth house. So you already influenced to start ways, because the second house is a fixed house, but Taurus, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. Cardinal deal with creating. So when it's in this house, it's always trying to see how to create new ways to use what it has. And with Capricorn, with this house been going through a lot of transformation past couple of years. You going through a lot of power and control issues, trying to see how to use your talents, use your creative attributes. All right. A lot of power and control issues and transformations with people that you value, with relationships that you had valued, certain concepts about things that you had valued, with how you're going to utilize a creative attribute or whatnot. So, you know, with Pluto going retrograde here now, when it comes to the construction work you always doing in your second house, you know, you always restricting and building and seeing what is it you need to put time into when you talk about your value system. This whole shit, we already in a season dealing with being critical about our value system, people, places, and things that we value, all these heavy Taurus energies. So if you got Capricorn in the second house and Pluto going retrograde in your second house, it's going to be a lot of things that you value right now that is going to play out as situations for you to understand that this needs to get transformed before October 6th. Be a person that you value right now, that person ain't it. You don't need to be watering that. Maybe something that you value about yourself is a certain, say you have a business concept that you value that's stemming out of that second house. All right? It's a business you want to start. Earth house. The Earth houses have huge business career influences. So when we look at that second house with Pluto transforming here, if that ain't get started yet or whatnot, that's gonna be a heavy burden here during this time. If we don't see how we about to bring transformation into our life by starting to water that, okay? And it's gonna put a huge influence on the things that you've been valuing. The expiration date done been passed. Pluto deal with expiration dates. So we about to, if you ain't know you had if you ain't know certain people you were around had expiration dates. If you ain't know you supposed to go through that experience just to learn something, to transform, but not to stay in your feelings about something, and you're supposed to just go through that experience to transform and learn and keep it pushing, you gon' understand that with Pluto retrograde. So Pluto retrograde in the second house, yeah, you're going to have to revise all the people, places, and things that you value. You're going to have to revise all the things that you was working on, dealing with construction work, tearing down and building up when it comes to your value system. You know, this house, the second house, you have Capricorn here. So Saturn plays out restrictions. Sometimes you could restrict your own damn self wherever you got Capricorn and Saturn at. Take it from me. Cap, moon, cap, rising. There's a lot of things in my personal life I can easily play out restrictions and be like, I can't do that right now. I can't personally do that right now. Until somebody else says, motherfucker, just book the trip. And why you putting all these restrictions on yourself is you, not the world restricting you. So that's what we experience with the house we have Capricorn at. So with Capricorn in the second house, a lot of y'all can play out restricting y'all. What is it that y'all do feel like y'all have? This is the I have house. Taurus is the I have. So when it comes to certain support systems you have, certain resources you have, and once again, creative attributes, talents, traits, these are things that you may have been restricting with Capricorn here. Especially if you got certain alignments here in this house. Especially if you got certain alignments hitting your Saturn, which is the house lord of your second house. You may be restricting what is it that you have that you can use. So this Pluto going retrograde in your second house about to help you to revise and reflect on that. Help you to see if you've been sleeping on your own. What is it that you already have, the support system you already have, and help you to understand how to strategize on that to bring transformation into that second house, to start connecting to the form of physical security and stability that you want. Third house. All right, Capricorn in the third house, a lot of construction work, a lot of restrictions and limitations when it comes to familiar neighborhood, familiar environment. Probably have a lot of siblings, probably got a distant relationship with your siblings, probably went through a lot of situations with your friends where it made you feel like in your, growing up in your neighborhood, a lot of situations with your friends where it started feeling like you have to be way more realistic how you deal with people, how you deal with your friends, how you deal with connecting to others. You gotta place restrictions on how familiar or how comfortable some of your friends be at times. Like a lot of shit like that with Capricorn in the third house. So Pluto going retrograde in your third house right now, you got to understand there's certain things certain connections, certain situations that you may have with certain familiar friends or what's going on in your familiar surroundings that need to be transformed. And if you have the power to transform it, you need to. If you have certain influences in your social circle, but in your close circle, third house is dealing with your close familiar circle. So if you got certain influences in your close familiar circle, especially when it comes into your actual surroundings or a familiar surroundings you allow yourself to be in a lot, and it's playing out as something that needs to be transformed or needs an expiration date, or just something you're too familiar with, people you've been too familiar with, and it's not helping you to bring any structure to life, because Capricorn in the third house is learning how to bring structure and is learning how to see reality based off of how it deals with people, relationships. You got Earth in your air houses. You're dealing with a lot of reality and learning how to be realistic when it comes to interacting with others, when it comes to building with others, networking with others. All right, especially your intimate relationships, being more realistic about who you connect to, how you date. So when we look at Pluto going retrograde in the third house, a lot of past situations with familiar friends coming up, playing up to October 6th. A lot of situations where you may have been in the dark about shit, with your friends. May have been some hidden agendas and maybe some single-minded shit going on with some of your familiar friends. And now Pluto going retrograde, some of that shit coming to the light. You're going to have more awareness on how to deal, adjust, and interact with others. But definitely some transformations to be made with your inner circle. Definitely some transformations to be made with the people that you allow to be familiar with you, or the familiar ways that you communicate and you let yourself relate to others or whatnot. These things going to have to be transformed. And the more that you pick up on influences of people you don't like to be around, people that move you away from building some form of stability, structure, or seeing things from a realistic point of view, you're going to know this is a relationship that need to be transformed. The third house could also deal with familiar habits as well. Familiar traits and habits, positive or negative. So if I started rollerblading, if I started skating, because ever since I could remember in my neighborhood, the park across the street, they used to skate all the time and made me want to skate. That's a third house thing. That's my familiar surroundings, your neighborhood. So that would be like a third house trait, me skating. So I could not be doing it in a competitive way or to make money or broadcast it. It's just something that's familiar habit, third house familiar trait. So it's going to be a lot of these things that you don't do anymore that you should get back into doing, that Pluto gonna be like, yo, come on, we could get that back in the mix. I know I'd be dealing with transformation, but you're gonna be a lot of things in the past, familiar habits and traits that you have that you may want to get back in the mix. But most importantly, certain negative habits and traits that you've picked up because of your circle and your familiar surroundings and neighborhood. It's gonna be way more conscious about these things. You're going to be placed in circumstances to see these things for what it is. To understand that you've been developed this motherfucking relationship issue, trauma from your familiar surroundings. You developed this shit from your friendships earlier. And you're going to get to the root of that. See, Pluto also helps you to get to the root of shit. Oh, you got Aries in the 4LMB. You got Aries in the third house. Aries in the third house. I got Aries in the third house. You feel me? We be going through all type of clashes with our siblings. Relatives, I got bullied a little bit in your familiar surroundings. You had to fuck with a lot of hot-headed people in your neighborhood, single-minded people, a lot of bullshit with that Aries in third house. Be a little isolated from others. Felt like you got to be a super individual amongst your neighborhood and whatnot. So that should be, Aries be crazy there. But a lot of opportunities though. It's a sextile, so it's gonna help you to learn how to personally assert yourself based off of how you see how other people communicate and relate. It helps you develop a whole individual way of learning how to communicate and carry yourself, because you understand other people have intentions. You understand in the third house, Aries is the I am. So when you put it in the third house where I communicate, you understand how the I am communicates. You understand how other people communicate or think based off of their personal views of things. So it helps you to understand, like, okay, I got to have my own personal individual way of communicating and relating with motherfuckers. So retrograde third house, y'all. Pluto retrograde in the third house, y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all nip shit in the bud with y'all familiar friends. It's gonna be certain things with y'all familiar friends y'all been letting rock too long. Shit, nah, for real though. Shit get real with that Pluto retrograde in that third house. Because Pluto touching the third, fourth house, that should get turbulent there. Third house dealing with inner circle, familiar friends. Fourth house dealing with family, home environment. So I always say when Mars energy, Pluto energy touches these areas, this is transformative shit within our close familiar circle, possibly siblings, possibly with our familiar surroundings. Transformative situations where we gotta transform our surroundings right now. So a lot of y'all may want to move. A lot of y'all may want to move retrograde in the third, Pluto retrograde in the third house. And this is going to, if you want to move, this is going to help you to devise different strategies and understand how you could put things in place right now to bring that transformation to your third house, to your familiar surroundings. Two people say they got Cancer in the third house. That's the moon there. So when you got Cancer in the third house, y'all be putting too much goddamn care into y'all. Hope y'all don't got. When you got Cancer in that third house, if you got any water placements, Sun in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, Sun and Moon are in Scorpio, Venus is in Mars and Scorpio. Because you already, this the moon gonna react. What I said about Cancer earlier in the reading, I said, whatever house you have Cancer in, you're naturally gonna be emotionally attached to that area of life in some type of shape or form. It's very subconscious. You have to really look at your water houses and see how you connected to them. I got Cancer in the sixth house. Sixth house deal with scheduling, organizing, routinning. I'm already a Cap. So me just being a Cap moon not doing that shit makes me uncomfortable. I feel like shit if I know I ain't scheduling, organizing, ain't working on anything. I just feel no self-esteem, no self-confidence, just ain't no self-worth. It's like, what are you worth? What are you working on? What are you putting time into? So that's a Cap moon if they ain't working hard. All right. But when I got Cancer in the sixth house. So, man, when it comes to my schedule, when it comes to what the people in my schedule, like I am so on top of that. It's so subconscious for me. It can make me so uncomfortable if I plan to do something in my schedule and I allowed me texting somebody for an hour to throw that off. That will make me hot. That'll make a motherfucker hot. You're gonna see some emotions throw my schedule off. You're gonna see that shit. You're going to see how I put my emotions and my heart into my schedule and what I'm working on. You're going to see that. Cancer, Cancer, that heart chakra. So once again, whatever house you have Cancer in, your heart be in that motherfucker. That's the heart center of your chart. That's how y'all want to look at it. If you look at the chart, if you look at your chart and you look at where Aries is at, you know Aries is the head. So just gauge things in that way. Look at the head all the way down to the feet. If you got Capricorn in a certain house, Capricorn represent the knees. This is the area of life you be trying to use to get sturdy, to get some foundation, to stand on a little bit. That's what we talking about right now with Capricorn. So wherever you got Cancer at, that's where your heart center at. That's where you always reacting and responding to. This is the area like that make you feel at home. So I could be going through it. I could be probably going through it with some of my family members. As long as what I'm and I'm a Capricorn moon, so I'm just using like I said, our families be all unorganized and structured. Like we be in foster homes, we be adopted, we be Cap moon life be harsh. So it's like when it comes to Cancer in that sixth house, I could be on bad terms with people I care about or whatnot, but if I get to work on the shit I want to work on, schedule, you feel me? If I got what I feel like I need, the moon Cancer, what I need to have in schedule, then I'm all right. I'll be all right. But let's not go too crazy. Drift to it's not about B. But where we at? Capricorn in the third house. So yeah, Pluto retrograde here gonna have y'all once again. It's gonna be this whole transit. There's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna be. It's gonna be evident that you're gonna have to transform with your friends. You've been letting your friends slide with too much. Your friends been getting a little too comfortable getting you to lie for them to their boyfriend. Like your friend Your friend, your familiar friend, your tight friend be getting you into situations because your boyfriend cool with your familiar friend boyfriend. That's how you even met your boyfriend. You met her through your friend, and then your friend boyfriend brought old boy around. Now that's your boyfriend. But your friend be cheating, and now you be having to get caught lying for your friend. You getting caught in situations because of who you familiar with, who you be around, who be in your inner circle. And that got into situations where it started to bring transformation to your relationship. So certain shit y'all gotta nip in the bud with Pluto going retrograde in that third house. It's certain shit that you on right now that you trying to bring transformation to in your life, and you have friends that ain't on that time. It's all good, but while Pluto's going retrograde, you gotta understand how to adjust what you got going on with your familiar circle, with your friends. All right, with Pluto going retrograde in this house. Fourth house. What time is it? 9:40? God damn. Pluto in the motherfucking fourth house. Capricorn in the fourth house, boom. My Libra risings. I love talking about Libra risings. It's one of my favorite rising signs. All right? Libra risings. Y'all got Capricorn in the fourth house. The fourth house deals with the home environment, family. This is the heart center of the chart as well, right? So Cancers, that's like, you can look at that as the heart center as well. But the fourth house, that's the heart center for real. No matter what sign is in there. Whatever sign is in your fourth house, this is how your ass be dealing with emotions. Whatever sign is in that fourth house, away from your moon, you deal with emotions like this with this house, and some other placements in that's in cahoots with the feelings. All right. But Capricorn in the fourth house is going to go through a lot of construction work within the home and family environment. Home and family environment may be a little dry. May not be no real sense of nurture and affection in the home environment. Maybe a lot of responsibility, a lot of responsibilities you gain in the motherfucking house. A lot of things motherfuckers will depend on you. You like, damn, I'm not the parent. The fuck? I'm a freshman in high school trying to figure my life out. I don't know if I'm going to college or whatnot, but why the fuck the bills in my name? A lot of y'all came into the world with bills in your name. That's that Capricorn fourth house shit. That's that Capricorn South Node shit and shit. Coming into this house with bills in your names. I swear, if you got bills in your name, either you a Cap Moon, you a Capricorn South Node, Capricorn the fourth house. You got a South Node in you got a South Node in Earth. You got a South Node in some transformative shit. It's like, damn, I came into the world with motherfucking bills in my, like, credit fucked up from the gate. Like, that's crazy. That's really crazy. But Capricorn in the fourth house, that's how it's going to be for Libra risings. So it's like Libra risings got to learn to be more realistic how they deal with their emotions. It's like, damn, I thought I could just connect to my parents, have a close circle of people that I thought I could connect to my family. I thought like, damn, why I can't have some form of emotional stability or connection or understanding within my family home environment like some of my friends be having. But this teaches you have to be more realistic in this lifetime with how you deal with the emotions, how you deal with the family home environment, how you deal with people, places, and things you care about. It shows you that you got to learn to not be so down into your heart chakra about it, but you kind of learn. See, Capricorn in the fourth house, you got to make sure you don't end up developing a cold heart, because you'll experience some shit. Libra risings make your ass. Libra risings go through some shit in that fourth house and make them a little bit cold hearted. And you're like, damn, I thought you were a Libra rising. I thought your personality was this, that, and the third. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, but I'm a Libra rising. But since I'm a Libra rising, I dealt with so much people personally. I'm a little different when it comes into that Capricorn in the fourth house. A little bit more realistic when it comes into who I let in the home. A little bit more realistic how I connect my emotions. I put more restrictions on how I deal with the emotions of others. When I'm dating people and they start saying they falling and shit, I tell them deal with some more reality. We just started talking a couple weeks ago and all that. Like, So you could be the one that's keep bringing reality to the home, reality to situations where you find yourself getting heavy emotion at. But you got Pluto going retrograde here now. So when Pluto going retrograde in the fourth house, a lot of situations where you ain't handle the emotions realistically coming back into play. A lot of situations where you probably didn't make the wisest and realistic choice with how you chose to communicate to your mother, with how you chose to communicate to your parents, with how you chose to deal with situations in your family home environment, with things you knew you should have transformed in the family home environment, but you know your ass should have been moved the fuck out, and your ass is still there. You got the money and everything, but you just don't want more bills. You like, all right, I'm gonna just stay in this motherfucker good just one more year. I'm gonna stack my shit. Get your ass up out the house. Because Pluto about to transform it. It's gonna be a situation with your parents. It's gonna be a situation with your auntie, your uncle saying like, all right, goddamn it. You just doing whatever the hell you want to do every weekend. You're spending all this money. You're just in and out with whoever you think because you got a little money now. You can, and you're contributing. You could just do what you want to do. That's Pluto in the fourth house. It's like, all right. We don't even have to have this conversation. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna move. But this is just an example for what you may be experiencing when it comes to the family and home environment, or what you jump into to feel comfortable. Capricorn here, you always feel like you gotta work on that. You always feel like you gotta work and structure how you dealing with privacy. You always gotta be realistic and work on how you about to gain some peace of mind, or deal with the home environment, or some responsibilities in the home environment. So Pluto here could help you to understand how you could have been transforming things these past couple of years to not deal with it. All these responsibilities here, how you've been creating more responsibilities in your home and family environment that's not yours. You could jump into that energy at times with Capricorn in the fourth house, my Libra risings, especially if you are Libra rising and you are Cancer sun and moon. If you're Cancer sun and moon, you're a Libra rising, you could end up being in a lot of situations with this Capricorn in the fourth house where they know you could be a support system or somebody to lean on in family home environment, or somebody to drag into family home situations. And it's like, yo, it gets to a point where you start catering to the home so much, you're so much of a dependent in the home, you start taking some responsibilities that ain't yours by default. You got to learn to start being like, nah, mommy, daddy, my pa. I know we all from different places. We call our parents different things. I'm a grown man, but I still call my mom mommy. That's my mommy. That's just what it is. You feel me? I'm Capricorn moon. I need some nurture when I could get it. We don't get that shit often. You feel me? But when it comes to your family home environment, all right, y'all got to make sure to let y'all parents know, like, yo, that's y'all argument. Y'all been putting me through all this goddamn trauma my whole life in this home environment. There's been such a lack of connection in this motherfucker, and I'm not about to be dragged into shit all the time. You got to learn to let your president be stamped there in that type of way. Things that you let into your private, I always say the fourth house is your private space. Your private space. So, of course, it could be your bedroom, your home. But sometimes the way we connect to others, you can feel that you let somebody in, or somebody's letting you in. Y'all in two different states. Y'all not even in, y'all, or y'all just FaceTime. Yeah, but you can feel that. You could feel that you spiritually opened up some energies to somebody to access you more, to access you on a more intimate level. So these situations right now, you're going to be seeing the people, places, and things you let into this private space. People that know more of the intimate part of you. You're going to understand if this is something that you want to continue to embrace, and understanding that this can bring transformation. Is this something you're willing to go to transformation for? You got it. It's really not a right or wrong question, but this is what's going to be brought to your awareness with Pluto transforming this fourth house, if you get my drift. Capricorn in the fourth house people, Libra rising, y'all know what they know what I mean. They know what I mean when I say what they got to work a lot in that fourth house. Mrs. KG moved out 1 month after high school graduation. Toxic ass parents, love them though. It be like that. Listen, I had to show a message that somebody sent me. I had a class for you. Some of you guys attended my astrology class last December. I did a house lord class. I had to show my mother, because my mother don't know a damn thing about what I'm doing. She's really, I got Nigerian parents, so they just be wanting you to be a doctor and lawyer and shit. As soon as I graduated, it was like, all right, medical school, you ready? Like, no, move. But when we look at motherfucking I got Nigerian parents, so it's like as soon as I'm a Capricorn moon, as soon as I jump into what I want to work on structural, it is a fucking problem. I had to show my mom a comment from somebody else, a lady that attended the class and left a comment saying, Boro, the class was so great, learned a lot, thank you. Your mother must be so proud of everything you're doing. I had to show that shit to my mother, like, look, this lady older than you, and she's saying that my mother must be so proud. You over here pushing me to do what? You can't try to force, your destiny on your the destiny you want for your child. You feel me? Everybody gotta learn to start seeing what's the calling for them. But a lot of us go through them situations with our parents or whatnot. A lot of us go through situations with our parents where we're in situations that we feel like we got to compromise career. We got to compromise so much things in reality for our parents. Yeah, that'd be a tough pill to swallow. It'd be a tough pill to motherfucker swallow. All right? So, but that's just, for my Libra risings too. Because y'all go through a lot of situations where y'all got to learn to compromise career in the home. A lot of career home clashes for y'all. By default, because our 4th and 10th house is opposite. But for Libra risings, having that Capricorn, the 4th house is like, they got to learn to care about career, but they got a lot of responsibilities in the home. So finding that balance is like, God damn, like, I'm trying to put my heart in career with Cancer in the 10th house. I'm trying to put my heart into what I'm doing business-wise, but my heart getting drained with all the reality in my home, and that's actually affecting my emotions. So Pluto retrograde is helping you to see what to... Ariana, what's going on, Ariana? Feel like I ain't see your name in a little minute. Hope all is well. But, that's helping... Pluto retrograde overall is helping you to understand what's been let into that private space here that needs to be transformed, understanding how it can transform you, and understanding what to really fight for when it comes to what you're building in that 4th house. A lot of you, like Libra risings, sometimes you feel like you got to jump into solitude, put things in order, construct things in order for you to feel like you have a peace of mind. So this retrograde going to help you to understand how to adjust the home environment, how to adjust how you deal with your own emotions, what you could do for your own emotional well-being. Whenever we deal with 4th house energy, I like to say that's going to help us deal with, things dealing with the subconscious emotional, our emotional well-being. So whether it's you got to jump into your meditation, whether you got to learn to deal with more self-care, whether it's you learning to just dive into more privacy and solitude, Pluto retrograde here is going to show you how maybe you haven't been using privacy and solitude to your benefit as well here. But a lot of transformations when it comes to people, places, things you care about, family, home environment, how you deal with the emotions, and understand how to pick up the influence of what you need to transform, how you deal with these things before it reaches situations that put your back against the wall and got you saying, like, I ain't fuck with my family members no more. I ain't connecting the emotion ever again. Or I'm always going to be by myself in privacy, solitude. That's how you know you wasn't really aligning or seeing what has to transform. You allow Pluto to come in and be too intense, have a really really heated argument with somebody you really care about, instead of you taking initiative to implement certain things first when it comes to how you deal with the emotions and family home environment. And once again, this is just important. With Pluto retrograde transiting this house, there's things that's been transformed in your family and home environment the past couple of years, and you have to realize that's reality. That is reality. Whether it hurts you or not, that's the reality of the situation. Are you going to let your emotions of what happened in your home and family environment impact you on how you deal with the emotions forever? Or are you going to learn to evolve? Are you going to learn to have a new way of dealing with the emotions based off of the reality of what happened in your family home environment? You may have lost somebody. You may not be talking to some of your parents right now. And that truly transformed your ass the past couple of months, or past couple of years in that type of situation. And now Pluto's going retrograde. A lot of feelings and thoughts is coming back from the family home environment, seeing how you can handle things better, understanding why things transformed, giving you more clarity on how to deal with that space. All right. 5th house. Capricorn in the 5th house could place a lot of restrictions and limitations on how it deals with its creative attributes. how it deals with expressing itself. This is a expression house. So when you got Capricorn here, it could be a little too restrictive on how it expresses itself here, but is always trying to see the reality of how it could kind of use creativity or use this form of expression to build something or structure something. Now, Pluto going retrograde here, it's going to be a lot of things that's going to help you to revise and revisit how you can work on your creativity. And you got, Capricorn in the 5th house. So once again, Capricorn is trying to see what it could use, it could build. So when it's in the 5th house, it's trying to see what form of creativity or what it could do on the stage, what it could put in the spotlight in order to build some stability. So Pluto going retrograde here, you about to replay all the situations that you didn't use your creativity, all the situations that you wasn't as expressive or didn't put something in the light that could bring transformation into your life. A lot of things with Capricorn and Pluto going on here, a lot of things already been transformed over the past couple of years with how you express yourself. All right? Period. All right? Been pushed into a lot of situations that made you feel like you got to express how you really feel to others. All right? True, raw intentions. Everything with Pluto and Mars is raw. All right? It's raw. So when it's transforming, the fact that you got it transit in your 5th house, you've been going through so much transformations with all forms of creative expression, but it's almost in a point of view where it's like, you're not compromising for what is it you want to do creatively now. You're going to strategize and put time into that. If you haven't been putting time into something what you're doing creatively or seeing how you could build something with Capricorn in this house, Pluto going retrograde is going to help you to understand why you've been going through transformations here, because there's been a lack of utilizing our creative house. There's been a lack of putting things into the light here. So Pluto going to start wanting to send influences on what needs to be transformed to help you deal with your creative artistic expression with it going retrograde in the 5th house. It's going to help you to understand how you could use creativity some more to bring transformation into your life. All right. Pluto transit in the 5th house going retrograde can replay scenarios with people being heavily expressive to you about something that you express. So it's like you can have the mirror put to you a lot of things dealing with your self-expression through others, though. The 5th house also deals with how we like to have fun. All right. So Capricorn in this house can restrict having fun. Capricorn in this house can be too serious about how it likes to have fun, can be reserved in situations, it needs to learn to be more open and experience some new things. So you got to see if you've been playing out as if a lack of your creativity, if that's been, blocked because of how you block yourself from experiencing new things, expressing new things, all right? Putting yourself in the light about new things. With restrictions here. Pluto retrograde is also going to help you to see what habits you do have when it comes to going out or having fun. It just does sound like a mood killer. It does. This is my Virgo risings. So Virgo risings is real detail oriented about what they build in and structure in their personal life as Earth. They build and structure and dealing with business in some type of shape or form. So now y'all see how the rest of the houses correlate to the rising sign. The rising sign ain't just because that sign is in that house. It ain't Virgo risings just don't play out Virgo rising energies because they have Virgo in the 1st house. It's also because of how the structure of Virgo risings charts are, because they have the signs in certain houses. So with Capricorn in that 5th house for a Virgo rising, it don't make sense to even deal with creativity if they're not making money off it, if they're not about to structure it to build something, they're not about to waste their creativity, to not have no foundation, to not be getting no motherfucking ends, not getting no residual income, not getting no passive income, not copywriting, LLCing things. No, not Virgo risings. No way. So you guys got to see how y'all got to use that shit to bring transformation into y'all life, though. There's certain mentalities that you guys have had about how you deal with your creativity that needs to be, that's the way you thinking about your creativity, that you need to put a depth to that, Virgo risings. You need to put a depth to all the restrictions that you may be looking at when it comes to your creative expression, Virgo risings. All right? Pluto retrograde is helping us to see what you put a depth to in yourself. More demons and habits and desires that you may have built up or whatnot that you got to put some restriction on or whatnot. So Virgo rising, Pluto going retrograde in the 5th house. It's going to be a lot of things revisiting, times you express yourself, times that you should have expressed yourself more. A lot of situations revisiting. Damn, I still ain't put this creativity in the light. Damn, I still ain't expressed this into the light. Damn, I've been working on this, building on this, or what I'm creatively expressing actually needs me to work on it and put more time into it. So let me re-strategize how I do these things and see how I transform it during retrograde. Pluto going retrograde in the 5th house. But a lot of Virgo rising, a lot of y'all gonna be dealing with that energy though, for the most part. That's how I see it. A lot of y'all dealing with a lot of situations when it comes to y'all creativity. Y'all gonna be noticing how y'all been placing restrictions on it and how that's been how you may have went through transformative situations just because you wasn't diving more into your creativity, just because you wasn't learning how to have more fun, dealing with forms of entertainment. Like, that is a part of life. Like, y'all can listen to all the motherfucking Elon Musk, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Entrepreneur. You can listen to all the interviews, entrepreneur business books, all the fuck you want. Them niggas is finding ways to find some entertainment, have fun in their life in some type of shape or form. You neglect this spirit. Like, I'm just a lucky Libra. We gotta come balanced. So I ain't never trying to be no motherfucking busy ass millionaire, some busy ass rich nigga. Nigga, I'm gonna make sure I enjoy some experiences in this motherfucker. I ain't working just for nothing. I ain't working just like, I ain't getting caught up in this motherfucking earthly ass reality. I understand we gotta build stability here. I understand that shit responsibility. I understand we got bills. I understand that shit. Well, we gonna take care of that shit, but we gonna get financial freedom too. Have some motherfucking fun too. All right? You got a 5th house for a reason. We got the Leo constellation here for a reason. So my Virgo risings, these are the things y'all gonna be revisiting though. This is y'all though. This is y'all inner thoughts and feelings. I gotta put this shit on the stage, or I gotta experience some more. Or that's gonna bring transformation into my life. You feel me? But I really want y'all to key in how y'all may have been playing out as restrictions to your forms of creativity. This is Pluto retrograde is also gonna help y'all transit in this 5th house understand how to transform what you're working on creatively. All right. Things that's playing out as blockages to your form of creativity, but also let's say you guys, you a Virgo rising, and you're an engineer right now. Let's say you engineer music, you work with a bunch of rappers. You're trying to build your credibility up and whatnot, your clientele. Right now, you're going to start catching influences of how you can transform things right now with your studio, with the programs you use, with how you brand yourself right now with your business a little bit here. Earth risings, man. Earth in them firehouses, you can't force them to express themselves. You can't force Earth rising signs to express themselves personally like that. They all got Virgo in the 1st house, real critical with how they move personally. Real critical, take their time before they jump into some shit personally. Taurus rising really don't like this house. Taurus risings, you moving a tree. You trying to move a tree, trying to get them to do some shit personally they don't want to do. You better hope they got some air in their chart. And then Capricorn risings, we place a restriction on anything in our personal life. That should be good for us. We restrict that shit. That's all we know. That's all we know, to restrict some shit. I ain't got shit going on tonight after I get off this live. I got some videos I'm uploading and whatnot. Motherfucker call me to do some shit tonight. I'm good. Like, that's just Cap rising. Like, I'm just personally shut that shit down. Somebody got to work to get me out the house. But that's just the Earth rising. Like, but Earth in fire houses, they get too realistic and too practical when it comes to things dealing with expression or experiencing at times. All right? Because you got Earth in the 5th house and the 9th house. So you got Earth in the 1st house, which you real practical about how you personally express yourself. Then you got Earth in the 5th house. You too fucking realistic about practical and about how you deal with your creativity. Too much Earth on creativity, you throw too much rocks on fire, you can put the fucking fire out. So it's like you putting too much Earth into your creativity at times, but when you get it right, you're going to find out what price to put on your shit. You're going to understand how to strategically stream your music to make sure the money coming in right. So that's the positive. You're gonna have the practical side of your art, of your creativity down. But the earth, because you got to find that balance. You got a bunch of earth in your ninth house. Just to get you to experience, take new adventures, that's just pulling the arm and the leg with you. Pulling the arm and the leg with you, earth in the earth risings, earth in that ninth house. But you need earth risings though. You need them though. Especially the Virgo ones. Because if you leave it up to motherfuckers in the group chat, this trip ain't never gonna get booked. We ain't never gonna cop this Airbnb on time. Leave it up, especially black folks, leave it up to us. Trip be all unorganized. So certain signs bring what they bring for a reason, y'all. All right. So look, that's my Virgo risings, y'all. Y'all gotta understand how to utilize y'all creativity right now to bring transformation. I gotta understand how y'all been playing out restrictions on your creativity and how you will continue to be transformed in some type of shape or form if you don't learn how to use your creativity. That's what Pluto's really gonna be teaching y'all, and how to understand how to use y'all expression, Virgo risings. Use that shit. You know how to use everything else, Virgo rising. You know how to use a situation. You know how to use everything else. Earth signs know how to use some shit. So stop being users in a negative light. And let's get into that user energy and a positive, light-spirited, angelic energy. All right, Virgo risings. Because Pluto gonna transform things when it comes to how you feel and think you should be expressing yourself. If you're not taking initiative on them replays in your head of times you ain't deal with your creativity, on times you ain't deal with your creative expression, you ain't deal with people that was into your creativity, you ain't express yourself to that person the way you wanted to. So now sixth house, Capricorn in the sixth house. So what we got? Virgo risings, so Leo risings. Capricorn, yeah. Leo rising in conjunction, yeah. So Leo rises, y'all got Capricorn in the sixth house. So this is why my Leo rises, that's why y'all be serious about what's on y'all schedule. Y'all be serious about what's in y'all schedule. Excuse me, wait, hold on. Fifth house? I feel like I spoke about sixth house. All right. Yeah, Capricorn in the sixth house. Okay, yeah. If you got Capricorn here, you already influenced to be serious and to do construction work when it comes to scheduling, routine, and organizing Leo risings. That's why some Leo risings may be moving around like they ain't got time for people too. That's why. They got them earth in them fire signs got all the elements in the houses that is in that element. So fire signs personalities can make their personal issues a little bit too unorganized and chaotic to feel like they feel stable at times. But with them earth influences and them earth houses always help them to find some sense of getting grounded when it comes into reality. It helps and kicks in there for the fire risings. But when you have Capricorn in the sixth house, you go through a lot of construction work when it comes to career, but when it comes to specifically, you may have go through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of 2 steps up to take 3 steps down when it comes to jobs you used to work at. All right, a lot of situations where you want things to blossom with career, but you got to learn to put more time into how you schedule and routine things. But you attract a lot of opportunities here, Leo risings. You attract a lot of opportunities in your sixth house with Capricorn here, because you create the initiative to understand what to work on. So a lot of Leo risings, a lot of some entrepreneur energy can derive from here, because they got Capricorn in sixth house. They're always seeing what's the new thing they should put into their work, to their schedule, the new thing they should work on. With Pluto going retrograde in the sixth house, Leo risings, y'all from now until October 6th, y'all about to see all the things in y'all schedule and how y'all routine that needs to be transformed right now. There's certain things when it comes to when it comes to the workplace, all right, when it comes to what you're working on, what you're choosing to put in your schedule, people, places, and things in your schedule. Sixth house deal with schedule, routine, day-to-day routine, the workplace, how we organize. Health and fitness, that's another thing. Health, fitness, diet, and your regimen. Pluto going retrograde here is going to have you revise and reflect on if you've been having a positive, negative regimen as far as what you consume. I don't want to say from food. I like to say, that sixth house is your regiment, period. So when it comes to to your sleep, when it comes to how you feel like you really been treating your body, like sometimes we really gotta jump out of our body and realize, yeah, we've been living the experience, but if we wasn't us and we was looking at our lives through somebody else's lens, would we be thinking like, damn, that person's body is rested or is getting what it needs? Sometimes it take a little minute till we crash or just feel depleted. It's like, damn, I really been treating Vessel like shit right now. I haven't been giving Vessel its time, its peace of mind, any meditation. Haven't been too much chaotic thoughts, dealing with fucking up my nervous system, my anxiety. So sometimes it takes us till we crash to start seeing what the Vessel needs and how we got to get spirit aligned back with our body. And Pluto going retrograde in the sixth house, y'all about to revise and reflect on all the things that's been in y'all schedule and routine that's been throwing off your motherfucking nervous system, that's been throwing off, what you do want to work on, what you do want to schedule. Y'all went through a lot of transformation in career the last couple of years. Motherfucker, you got Capricorn in the 2nd, 6th, or 10th house. Y'all all went through a lot of transformation within career the past couple of years. Especially when we had that stellium in Capricorn, about to be 2 years ago now. So when we look at Pluto going retrograde in the 6th house, it's going to be huge indications of things that's in your schedule, that's in your regimen, that is no use for this in your schedule now. It's expiration date. This person been in your schedule 24/7. Expiration date. You've been going to this area every weekend or every Monday for leisure, whatever it is. This driving us away from responsibilities, priorities. But you've allowed this. At first it was just something you was doing here and there, but now you let it into your schedule. This is something you work on. This is something you routine. Are you aware of this? Pluto retrograde gonna make you realize, are you aware this been in our schedule? Like, you may just think you do this, we do this here, there, and a third. Like, this is an actual real habit we have now. This is actually something that you subconsciously try to work into your schedule, but you don't realize it. Pluto retrograde gonna help you to understand, like, this has an expiration date. We need to transform this shit. Leo risings. Leo risings. If y'all have a strong feeling to leave y'all workplace right now, utilize this time until October 6th to figure out how you about to do that shit. So we can open up opportunities before October 6th even come. Or by the time October 6th come, you ain't going into 2022 like, damn, I'm still at this motherfucker, goddamn. Ain't that about it. We don't want to be in that energy. We want to make sure whatever Leo rising, what you doing in your day-to-day routine, what you get up and do in the morning and how your night end, and how you've been consistently doing that the past couple of years. You're gaining clarity on why your schedule and routine has transformed based off you not implementing what you wanted to work on, how you could have transformed things the past couple of years based off how you work on things and schedule things. But now while this energy is retrograde, it's not allowing you to go all the way to October 6th to understand what needs to be transformed in your schedule, why this thing isn't growing, why this long-term passion or intention isn't growing, because it's not being scheduled or routine the right way. All of that's about to be brought to the surface. Pluto going retrograde in the 6th house. So a lot of the transformations y'all been through in career, Pluto, Capricorn in the 6th house, a lot of transformations y'all been through. This is helping y'all to understand that these situations was pushing you to take power in the schedule you want. Leo risings, if y'all feel like y'all been unstable career the past couple of years, if y'all feel like y'all been fighting for certain things in career, y'all been fighting to get things in y'all schedule with Capricorn in that 6th house, Pluto going retrograde about to help you to understand. It's going to bring clarity on how you can strategize gaining that power in the 6th house. How you was being pushed, how you may have been dealing with certain experiences in your workplace to get you to be influenced to understand, like, yo, I'm bugging. I need to put this thing I know I could build into my schedule. And I need to learn to put time into it and build that. Because Capricorn in the 6th house, that's what you learn in there. You learn how to put time into what you scheduling, into what you routine. All right, y'all. So, guys, I told you I didn't want to stay on this late. All right, but it's just impossible for me to talk about certain placements for 2 minutes. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna come back on early tomorrow, hopefully before the afternoon or around the afternoon, but in the first half of the day to finish the 7th house to the 12th house. All right, guys. So for everybody that has Capricorn in the 7th to the 12th house, we're jumping back on tomorrow, okay? And if you came on late and didn't see the first 2nd house, this is going right on YouTube right after this, all right, guys? So once again, Moon, Sun in Taurus, Moon in Capricorn, guys. Heavy Earth influence. We're dealing with being patient, being in the present right now this weekend. Don't let your emotions or other people get under your emotions so easy, because Mars is making contact with the moon. So the way we could react and respond could be real passionate and intense. And when it comes to people, places, and things we care about, the family and home environment, and the area of life we have Cancer at, this is where we could blow up at. All right? This is going to be tonight and early tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna touch up more on these energies tomorrow. These live streams, I want to make this more frequent. Okay, so y'all can expect me jumping on live, at least once a day now. All right, even if it's for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, connect with y'all, interact, get some energies out, throw it on the tube, we keep it moving. All right, instead of me getting caught up with my schedule, readings, and things in my personal life, and then missing certain transits when I want to get y'all energies, get certain energies out. All right, y'all. And right. Nubian Queen, okay, after this point to watch the Patreon videos. Right, y'all could hop on the Patreon or whatnot. I've been working on a lot of things this past, month and a half or whatnot. From ebooks to certain things I don't even want to say right now. I showed y'all the candles a couple months ago. I showed y'all candles about a couple of weeks ago. Those is going to be posted and ready to cop soon. So maybe some challenges behind that. Maybe another free class coming up soon. Maybe a couple of things. Y'all know the Lucky Libra. I got things up my sleeve. All right, y'all? So stay spiritually protected tonight. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. All right, y'all? Peace.